John Mahama became Ghana's 14th president earlier this year after running on a platform aimed at cracking down on corruption and spurring economic growth.
Disruptions lead to new world orders. And so this is a disruption that is happening. I'm sure that maybe a new world order will be born out of it.
With his term still in its infancy, Mahama must now make navigating a shifting global order one of his main priorities.
We've discussed the issue of AES and ECOWAS, and I've got new perspectives about the concerns that the three countries have. In Africa, we say when your neighbor's house is on fire, you have to help him to quench it, otherwise it will spread to your own house.
This wording is very interesting because the question should be asked, which country is on fire? You see, in this video, we're going to discuss the relationship between Ghana, Burkina Faso, ECOWAS, and AES. It is my belief that huge changes are coming to West Africa, and these changes have the potential to change Africa as a whole forever. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. For those of you that don't know me, my name is TJ. I am Nigerian and British mixed. For the last couple of years, I've been living in Uganda with my partner Medina, where I've started a whole new life away from Europe. This channel has been about sharing my experience, but being out here has forced me to confront why is Africa not prospering according to the potential that it has. And I personally want to see the betterment of the continent. So when I see Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso separate themselves from ECOWAS, when I see them removing French neocolonial ties, when I see them pushing in the direction of innovation and self-sufficiency, I pay attention. Now, it's not just me paying attention. It's actually the whole of Africa. These guys are becoming the most popular leaders on the continent right now. See, when they first separated themselves from ECOWAS, there was huge pressure from Europe, mainly the French, to bring them back into the fold. And there was all sorts of language around the consequences and the difficulties that these three countries would have if they were not part of this group. But the truth is, since they've separated themselves, these countries have begun to flourish. So what happened a couple of days ago is that the new president of Ghana went to visit Ibrahim Traoré in Burkina Faso, and he made a public statement that I think is an eye-opener.
We've discussed the issue of AES and ECOWAS, and I've got new perspectives about the concerns that the three countries have.
New perspectives on the concerns the three countries have. What do you think those perspectives might be? I believe it goes something like this. We have a mandate to separate ourselves from neocolonial powers, particularly the guys in Europe that are controlling us in so many ways. You ECOWAS countries are still showing loyalty and ties to those countries. Look at how we're doing things. Look at the way our population is responding to these changes. Are you not tired of the oppressive structures that have been embedded in your countries? And I think, for one, John Mahama, the president of Ghana, is listening.
In respect of their relations with ECOWAS. And so I assured Mr. President that at the next ECOWAS meeting, I would pass on what they have explained to me to the other leaders. I think there's a breakdown of trust amongst the leadership. It will take time to rebuild it, but we have to work on it so that we restore trust and confidence with each other so that we can work together.
What they tell us to our faces is not necessarily what happens behind closed doors. I think everybody understands that when it comes to countries' trade deals and negotiations. Although he's still talking in favor of ECOWAS and you've got your thing and we've got our thing, what would happen if Ghana flipped and they became part of the AES that Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have put together? Now, I found that video on Twitter, and this is a comment that stuck out to me. By the way, all the comments underneath this video on Twitter were all praising a good relationship between the president of Ghana and the president of Burkina Faso. But this comment here stuck out to me. President Mahama should also copy the ideological development in infrastructure, economic and security strategies from Burkina Faso that can help to be implemented in Ghana. I think if Ghana left ECOWAS and joined the AES, it would be overwhelmingly popular by the people of Ghana. Why? Because people are waking up and they are fed up of outside meddling and control from America, from Europe, around countries that have more than enough resources to be self-sufficient. This is a map of the ECOWAS region. Now, it used to be that all the colored countries you see here were one group, but Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have separated themselves from the rest of the green countries. I've also highlighted Ghana in light green. What you notice is Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger are landlocked. There is no access to the sea for these countries that I've highlighted in red here. If they have a good relation with Ghana, Ivory Coast, Togo, or Benin, which border Burkina Faso, they get access to the sea. Now, Ghana are showing good business relationships. They're talking about flights. They're talking about a pipeline actually to help push natural resources into Burkina Faso. And they're talking about all sorts of trade deals that can have mutual beneficial relationships. It's almost guaranteed that a port access for Burkina Faso and by extension Mali and Niger will happen in Ghana if that relationship stays good. So that now means that that group has everything they need to be self-sufficient. They have access to a port, they can bring in their resources, they can trade amongst each other, they can export out to the region and out to the rest of the world. And these countries produce all sorts of fantastic natural resources, everything from minerals, gold, uranium, to agricultural goods that everybody in the world uses. So if Ibrahim Traoré is able to recruit John Mahama, this light green area will turn red. And now you can see that this area breaks up geographically ECOWAS and it becomes a much more significant player in the region. What would the incentive for Togo, Benin, Ivory Coast, or the other French-speaking countries to stay part of ECOWAS? Nigeria controls that region, is the main power in that region, yes, but you got to remember, a lot of these French countries are still on the CFA franc. Out of those countries that are still attached to the CFA franc, some of them still have to deposit their money in France in the French treasury. But right now, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger do not have to do that, even though they're still using the CFA franc. And there are rumors that they are going to create their own currency. They've already created their own passport. So it now becomes ever more interesting if they can do this flip. They can become the new ECOWAS power in the region and they can have other countries join their ideology. Will it happen overnight? Probably not. Now, maybe you think John Mahama isn't up for that kind of change. I want you to listen to this little interview and just see the way he talks in regards to his relationship with the United States.
America has the right to recalibrate and freeze its international assistance to other countries, but there's always a blowback. One, America loses soft power because USAID is a well-known brand of America and it intervenes in very critical areas. And so if America decides that it doesn't want to intervene in those areas, it is possible that other countries might decide to fill that gap, or we might fill it ourselves like we're trying to do now, adjusting our budgets to fill the gap that America leaves. But it loses the influence that it has exerted over the years. Apart from that, it's not only in those areas. USAID is the biggest supplier of food aid in many places, and they buy this food aid from American farmers. And so if USAID is no longer buying that food to deliver as food aid, then it means that American farmers lose a huge demand that, assisted them in their business. And so there's always a blowback. There are a lot of connectivities, and we'll see how it plays out. The Trump playbook is still playing out. We're all watching what is happening. But as I've always said, disruptions lead to new world orders. And so this is a disruption that is happening. I'm sure that maybe a new world order will be born out of it.
He sounds like someone that is not going to be pushed around easily, that's not intimidated, and is open to change. A new world order may come out of it. Well, he may be talking about the US in this instance, but this could easily be applied to ECOWAS, West Africa, Africa as a continent, and his mentality around the ability to bring success to Ghana. See, Ghana was left to him in a state where the economic situation wasn't the best. So now you're seeing an opportunity for him to join the economic success that Burkina Faso is having and to bring about his own new world order. I would love to know what you guys think about it. If you've got something to say, please put it in the comments. But if you don't know what to say, would it be too much for me to ask you to write the words "changing times" in the comment section? It lets me know that you're rocking with the channel, you like what I'm doing, and you want me to keep going. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.